In Photoshop, you can use gradients to create many different designs, but one of the things I quite like doing is using gradients with the new fill layer. And I'm just going to quickly go over to Photoshop. I'm using Photoshop CS6, but same approach, CS5, etc. So, layer, new fill layer, and gradient. So as soon as you select that, it comes up with a gradient fill, click OK. At this point, you can't actually see any gradient, it just comes up with the default gradient. I've actually loaded some gradients already, and they're from Graphic Extras. And I'll just quickly show you replace gradients at the right side here. Just a large selection of different gradients. There's 32,000 or so different gradients in the set. So there's all those files. I've just loaded one of those. And right, at that point, just select one of the gradients. I'm just going to select that one. Now, you've got a few selections like style, so you can set it to radial, angle, but I'm just going to go with linear. So I'm just going to change the angle. I'm just going to change it just like that. So you can just get a 45 degrees, click OK. Then a layer, duplicate layer. Now, of course, you just could go and create a new fill layer, but I'm just going to use the same gradient at this point. And now, if you just go over to the layer palette, you've got two gradient filled layers. I'm just going to actually make the blending mode just to darken. Now, I could use obviously one of the other ones. I could just go to lighten, difference, overlay, etc. Some work better than others. Of course, you could also change the opacity. It's another option as well. Just change that to see more of the, basically more of the underlying layer. So, right, done that. And now I'm just going to double click on that again. Brings up the dialog again. Now, this is the point where you can start changing things. You can actually, at this point, move the gradient. So even subtle moving, you can actually create a different gradient. And I'm just going to change the angle. And of course, you can just move it around, just change that. Just subtle changes can really make quite, and also of course when you actually move it, you can actually see the colours, how they interact with the underlying layer. Just squeezes the gradient. So straight away you can create different colour effects. Of course you can create more than 2 layers. You can create 3, 4. Now I'm just going to quickly show you that as well. So, or you can select different fill. You can go to a different, select a different one. So I'm just quickly going to replace gradient. And now I've got a whole selection of, let's say, gradients here, but you can of course change the name. If you actually find, say, a gradient file, say you like that one, you turn around and say, well, I don't really know what add 300 random means. So you could call it, well, whatever you want to call it. It's just as long as you don't change the GRD file, in a sense, you can call it anything. So just rename it at that point, but just going to open it, click open, and now you'll see all the selection of different designs. So you might want to call it like stripes or something else, coloured stripes. So, and I can again still move that backwards and forwards. Of course I can, like say, change it radial, so you can create, and you can still see the underline, and depending obviously on the difference mode, darken, I'll go difference, and you will see different colour effects. So that's a quick and easy way of using gradients and fill layers. Very useful way of creating thousands of different colour designs in seconds. And of course, once you've actually decided that, you can of course just flatten the layers and apply effects, or maybe use smart filters and smart objects to continue with modifying the gradient.